Hey everyone, welcome to the Tam and Tom version of the Microsoft 365 Connect roadmap. Uh, Basically, Adam had another prior commitment and Jen was not feeling terribly wonderful, so she
She
handed
sounded
it
like
over
she
to
was
the two.
gargling gravel.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. She feels fine, just sounded pretty bad. So you are stuck with the two of us today. With that, we will go ahead and get started. For those of you who may not have been part of our shows in the past, what we do is we go over the roadmap so you don't have to. And we cover a variety of categories. The roadmap has in development, which means Microsoft is in the process of building it out, probably dog fooding it. And then when they get that all ready to go, then it moves into a rolling out status. And that means it's starting to head out to the tenants and the clients to which it was targeted, such as commercial, GCC, DoD, whatever. Once we get through the rolling out, then we go into launched. Launch means if you have one of the tenants it was targeted for, you should have it by now. And then sometimes we have canceled. This time we do not. So we do have a fair number of in development, but we will go ahead and see what we can cover that makes sense and gets us excited. And with that, Tamara, go ahead and lead off.
Sure, Microsoft Teams reactions in town halls. That's a premium feature, or is going to be a premium feature. Participants can use reactions like, love, applause, laugh, surprise, nothing negative. I really think there should be a thumbs down for voting. To express themselves during a town hall, and the reactions appear as continuous stream on the side of the screen. That's in development for April of this year. So that's one thing to be looking out for. And then there's also Outlook, and I think we talked about this. Updated work hours and location experience in the new Outlook for Windows and the web. So this update brings a new look with the daily peak. Oh, hello. Click on your work location icon at the top of your calendar to change your work location, view who else will be in the office, or receive suggestions to help optimize your workday. This feature will come to the new Outlook in Windows and Outlook on the web. Your work location will reflect across Microsoft 365, such as in Teams and your profile card. You can also update your location from Teams, which will stay in sync with Outlook. Microsoft is also introducing a new location type, out of office, which will automatically sync with your out of office calendar appointments. Hashtag new Outlook for Windows.
I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, so I mean, we've had the ability, when I first looked at that, like, we already have work hours and location experience. I mean, come on. But as she pointed out, they are updating it, the whole bit of saying, hey, who else is going to be in the office? That's new. And hey, here's suggestions for your workday. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like when it comes out. It could be really interesting, but since I'm never in the office anyway, it isn't going to make any difference who's going to be
It's
there or
moot.
not. Yeah, pretty much for me. Anything else that you have that you want to cover?
No, go for it.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and go with Microsoft Stream, new Streams app in Teams chat channel tab. So the Stream app that is accessed from the chat channels, the plus icon up at the top, new tab, will be updated with the new Stream on SharePoint experience that will enable users to pin and watch a video or playlist from new Stream. I don't think they had updated it from Stream Classic, and Stream Classic, based on the latest information, will be dead in about 35 to 40 days. April, well, that's going to be for commercial. I think the government tenants have a little bit longer time, but basically April 15th, Stream will be shut down for the commercial groups, and all the videos that you had out there will be deleted. So if you haven't done your migration, get on top of it right now. Then the other one that I wanted to bring up is Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365 restricted SharePoint search. This is kind of interesting. So restricted SharePoint search, also known as RSS, which is, really simple syndication too, not a good pick for an acronym, is a setting that will allow global tenant and SharePoint admins to disable organization-wide search and set a set of curated SharePoint sites instead. These selected sites, along with the user's OneDrive accounts and files and content, will then become accessible in search and in the Copilot experiences. This means that whether you have enterprise search or restricted SharePoint search enabled, users in your organization will still be able to interact with their OneDrive information in Copilot.
But you're only interacting with your OneDrive, not
Correct.
other people's
Correct.
OneDrives.
Everything is security trimmed, no problem there. But the
Right.
fact that you can say, hey, I don't want to let your entire enterprise loose on Copilot being able to get to anything it has security for, because you're going to know that somebody's going to find that, oh, you somehow had that, payroll spreadsheet put out in a site that's got all employees only. Nobody just happened to find it. Copilot will. So this is interesting to where you can say, okay, we only want Copilot and searching to encompass this volume of sites. We don't want it to take everything out there. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see how many people use this, but do keep in mind this is coming out in April next month, and it's supposed to be coming out to the worldwide tenant. The government group doesn't get them yet at this stage of the game. So anything else before we roll on to rolling out?
No, I don't feel qualified to talk about Purview, and there's a lot of Purview.
There is a whole lot of Purview out there. If you're into Purview and Purview is a big thing for you, definitely go out and check the roadmap. Also, Viva has a fair number of things out there. Viva assisted check-ins for Viva Goal, or Microsoft Copilot assisted check-in for Viva Goals. Glint has a few things out there. Those are not worlds I play in, so I'm not qualified to talk about it, like Tamara said. So we're just going to ignore that this time and tell you, yeah, check out the roadmap and you can find everything you want. So going to rolling out, what would you like to talk about on the rolling out side?
Well, OneDrive got some love.
Oh, it did.
So OneDrive, performance improvements, OneDrive, offline mode, OneDrive, files on demand for the web. So with performance improvement, this feature will provide faster page load times when using OneDrive for web or when using the Files app in Teams, irrespective of your network speed. Good word usage.
I know, I liked it.
You will see faster screen loading, sorting, filtering, file moving, and renaming. This increase in speed is made possible by storing file metadata in the local cache of your device as opposed to requesting it from the cloud source. Then the offline mode, this feature will allow you to launch OneDrive in your browser and view, sort, rename, move, copy, and delete files, even without internet access. How do they do it?
I don't know, but that's an interesting one.
Yeah, additionally, for locally stored OneDrive files, those that are marked with the always available offline, that green circle with the check, you'll be able to open and work on these in your browser, even if you're offline.
Which is
All of
another
these
cool thing.
changes
It's really
make
cool.
offline will be automatically synced back when the internet connection is restored. Finally,
Cool stuff.
Files on demand option to always keep on this device and free up space will soon be made available for OneDrive for the web for your synced files. Now you'll be able to select files and folders to be always available offline on your device directly from within the browser without having to navigate away from File Explorer or Finder to perform this action. OneDrive will download these and they'll take up space on your computer. You'll also be able to free up space by selecting a file or folder that you previously marked as always keep on this device, and they'll no longer take up local storage space.
Yeah,
So that's all the love for OneDrive.
yeah, I'm liking where they're going with this, because right now, when we move people, say, from a shared drive to SharePoint, immediately it's like, I need to link to my OneDrive because I need my Windows file experience. And I kind of can't blame them, because sometimes the web is a little slow and cumbersome. Sounds like they're taking some major steps to change that. So I think that should be really good. A couple other things that I will bring up. Since she had three, I'll take three.
Go
Microsoft
for it.
Teams archive channels. This is one we've mentioned, I think, when it was in development. Now it's in rolling out. With archive channels, owners and administrators can archive channels that are no longer in use while preserving their content, including messages, files, and tabs. The archive channel is removed from the active teams and channels list, and no more actions will be allowed. If needed, the channel can be restored. I think that'll be really good for people who have had long-standing teams out there that the reason for that particular channel doesn't necessarily exist anymore, but it's taking up a whole lot of space in terms of visual clutter. Go ahead and archive the thing. You haven't lost it. You can still get to hoard it, but you don't have to see it on a regular basis. I really like that idea. Then we have Microsoft Teams preset organizational backgrounds. Again, this is a premium feature. And when enabled, a user will have a preset background defined by the IT admin without the ability to change the background. So if you work for a company that wants to have, spot on total control of the branding in what you have in the background when you're doing shows like this, then this is something that if you are a premium user of Teams, you could theoretically see one day when you go to change your background. And guess what? You can't, because this has now been set. So keep that in mind. That's rolling out last month, and it is going to everybody. So it could affect any of you who are using the premium client. And the last one, Microsoft Teams tags in shared channels. I didn't know that you couldn't do this, but apparently you can't, because now you can. Users can now use team tags to @mention groups of people within shared channels. You've always been able to do those kind of things in a regular standard channel, but they're now rolling that same capability out to shared channels. I believe they also rolled it out to private channels, because I remember seeing two different roadmap items where private and shared were getting this feature and they never had it before. So keep an eye open for that, again, going to everybody, and it was rolling out starting last month. So it could be coming really soon to a tenant near you. Anything else you want to hit on rolling out before we roll out of this into launch? See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I'm
Go ahead.
comfortable with moving on to rolling out.
Bail me out here. Bail me out. Go for launched.
All right. So Outlook, coaching by Copilot in Classic Outlook for Windows. Copilot is going to combine the power of large language models and Outlook data to help you do more. So Copilot coaches you on how to best get your message across, and you can adjust the tone and length of your message. Now that is coming out to the enterprise
Worldwide.
that has Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting that they rolled it out for a classic Outlook.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're pushing so hard on Outlook for the web and the new Outlook for Windows. I really didn't think the classic would get any love whatsoever, but I was wrong. So
Cool. Then the
anything
other
else you'd
thing
like
I
to
like
mention?
is Microsoft Project, additional capabilities for Microsoft 365 users in Microsoft Project for the web. So currently, users with Microsoft 365 licenses can view projects shared with them by users of Microsoft Project for the web. Now, this update will enable Microsoft 365 users to collaborate more seamlessly with project users by editing shared projects. The added capabilities enable Microsoft 365 users to access any functionality where Microsoft Planner and Microsoft Project for the web overlap. Now, you have to note that this feature is specific to projects that are created within the default environment, such as by using project.microsoft.com. And that is available to everybody in the commercial tenant.
Very cool. So a couple that I'll mention before we wrap up here.
Mm-hmm.
New Outlook for Windows, Teams meeting chat from Outlook. Um, this may also be for web too, because I kind of did a Spark One tip on this one, or 1 minute Office Magic tip. This feature provides an easy Teams chat experience from Outlook in the context of a meeting for participants to send a quick message or review the chat. Well, this is slightly different. This is within a meeting. So basically what this means is you can be in Outlook and, looking at the meeting that you have out there on your Outlook calendar, and you're going to have the ability to actually open up a chat, which normally would mean you go out to Teams. You're going to be able to have that chat interface within the Outlook client. I know you can do that now, just in Outlook on the web at least. You can be out there and go, hey, I want to chat with somebody. And you get this little pop-up chat window in the lower right corner, which enables you to do a Teams chat basically without going to Teams, which I find really awesome. I like it. So keep an eye open for this one. And then the other one that I will just mention, for those of you who deal with data residency requirements and all those kind of things, when it comes to Copilot, yeah, that could be a little different. Well, now new commitments covering stored content of interactions with Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365 will be added to existing data residency commitments for Microsoft 365. The commitments will be available for worldwide standard multi-tenant customers through Microsoft product terms and data residency product offerings, including the advanced data residency ADR and multi-geo capability add-on. So the way that I think this reads, and I think what they're after, is all those interactions that you're having with Microsoft Copilot to, get all this wonderful information. They're going to make sure that those interactions are stored within the residency requirements that you have. So, like Germany, I know they have to have a lot of their data, if not all of it, stored on German territory and things like that. So, I think what this is doing is it's making sure as Copilot becomes more and more used in those interactions within Copilot, that you don't have it being stored somewhere else, which then breaks the agreement and breaks the rules that you have of where your data is supposed to be stored at, I think. But we haven't started using Copilot yet, so I could be wrong. With that, anything else in launched?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Well, with that, thank you everyone for joining us. We will do this again next week where we'll have another set of things we can talk about.
And
And we should
hopefully
have,
more people.
I was going to say, and hopefully we'll have a wider variety of people on this, 4 little squares instead of just 2. But with that, thank you very much. We enjoyed talking with you, to you, and we will see you again next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye now. Thanks.